The elevator doors slid open on the 23rd floor of the glass tower in Midtown Manhattan, and Alex Harper stepped out into a storm of fluorescent lights and hurried whispers, only to freeze as a stranger's hand brushed his soft, deliberate, like a lifeline thrown into chaos. "You look like you just survived a subway apocalypse," the man said. His voice a warm rumble that cut through the din, eyes the color of faded denim locking onto Alex's with an intensity that made the world tilt. In that split second, Alex felt the armor he'd built around his heart crack. A betrayal from 5 years ago echoing like a gunshot. "I love you," but not like that, words from his ex that still burned. Now drowned out by the stranger's gaze promising something dangerously close to redemption. Alex had come to New York chasing ghosts, or maybe running from them. 5 years after that brutal breakup in the rain-soaked streets of Seattle, where Jordan had handed him a letter instead of a ring. "It's not you, it's my fear." He'd packed his life into 2 suitcases and boarded a red-eye to the city that never sleeps, because sleep had become his enemy anyway. The job at Whitaker & Klein, a mid-tier marketing firm specializing in eco-brands, was supposed to be a fresh start. Spreadsheets, client pitches, the anonymity of cubicles stacked like honeycomb in a hive of ambition. No more late-night confessions in dive bars. No more mornings waking up to empty sheets that smelled like regret. Just work. Survive. Thrive. Maybe, if the therapy bills didn't bankrupt him first. But on that first Monday in September, as the autumn air nipped at the edges of his wool coat, Alex hadn't counted on Jamie Ellis. The stranger from the elevator was leaning against the coffee station in the break room, sleeves rolled up on a crisp white button-down, tattoos peeking like secrets from his forearms. A compass rose on one, a line of poetry on the other that Alex couldn't quite make out. "Cream? Sugar? Or are you one of those black coffee masochists?" Jamie asked, already pouring from the ancient percolator that gurgled like it was on its last legs. Alex blinked, caught off guard. "Black. Thanks." He took the mug, their fingers brushing again, electric, or maybe just static from the carpet. Jamie's eyes, those gentle blue pools flecked with gold like sunlight on Puget Sound, held his for a beat too long. "I'm Jamie, creative director. You must be the new guy from the West Coast. Alex, right? Heard you crushed that portfolio review." Word travels fast in these towers, Alex thought, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Guilty. Just trying not to drown on day one. He sipped the coffee bitter, strong, grounding, and Jamie laughed, a sound like gravel under tires on a back road, easy and unforced. Day one jitters are universal. Come on. I'll show you the ropes before the vultures descend. Jamie led him through the open-plan office, past clusters of desks where millennials in athleisure tops typed furiously on MacBooks, the air humming with the low buzz of conference calls and the faint scent of vanilla lattes. Whitaker & Klein occupied the entire floor, walls plastered with mood boards for sustainable fashion lines and organic skincare campaigns, greenwashing at its most polished. Alex's cubicle was a corner unit by the window, offering a sliver view of the Empire State Building piercing the sky like a defiant middle finger to gravity. As Jamie pointed out, the shared drive, the printer that jammed on principle, and the boss, Eleanor Klein, a silver-haired powerhouse who ruled with emails at 6 a.m. Alex found himself stealing glances. Jamie moved with a quiet confidence, not the showy kind that demanded spotlights, but the steady rhythm of someone who'd weathered storms and come out scarred but standing. Mid-30s, maybe, with a jawline shadowed by weekend stubble and hair the color of wet sand, tousled just enough to suggest he didn't care. But he did. Alex could tell. Those eyes missed nothing. By lunch, they'd fallen into an easy banter over falafel wraps from the cart downstairs. "So, What dragged you across the country? Jamie asked, wiping tahini from his lip with the back of his hand. Alex hesitated, the old wound twitching. Needed a change. Seattle's great for rain and regret, but not much else. He kept it light, deflecting with a joke about how New York's pigeons were bolder than his ex's passive-aggressive texts. Jamie nodded, something flickering in his gaze, recognition, perhaps. I get that. Grew up in Philly, bounced around a bit. Landed here 5 years ago after, well, let's just say a bad breakup that felt like the end of the world. This city's got a way of rebuilding you, brick by brick. The words hung between them, a bridge neither had meant to build yet. Alex felt a pull, magnetic and terrifying, like leaning over the edge of a rooftop at dusk. He wanted to ask more. About the breakup, the tattoos, the way Jamie's laugh softened the edges of his cynicism. But the moment shattered when Eleanor's voice crackled over the intercom. Team huddle in 5. Bring your A game. That afternoon blurred into a whirlwind of brainstorming sessions for a new client. Verdant Threads, a queer-owned apparel line pushing gender-fluid athleisure. Alex pitched a tagline. Threads that bind, without the knots. And Jamie's eyes lit up, that gentle disarmament hitting like a slow-release drug. That's gold, he said later, as they lingered by the whiteboard, markers squeaking against the glass. You see people, Alex. Not just demographics. Flattery from a colleague, harmless, right? But as the days bled into weeks, the harmlessness frayed. Mornings started with elevator encounters. Jamie saving him a seat in the packed car, their shoulders brushing in the crush. Lunches stretched into walks through Bryant Park, leaves crunching underfoot as they dissected ad fails and life hacks. Jamie's theory that vulnerability was the ultimate pitch. Alex's counter that trust was a luxury he couldn't afford. Evenings, after the office emptied, they'd linger on revisions, the city lights twinkling like conspirators below. One Thursday, as rain lashed the windows like it had back in Seattle, Jamie invited him for drinks at the Dead Rabbit, an Irish pub in the financial district where the whiskey flowed amber and forgiving. To surviving another deadline, Jamie toasted, clinking glasses, his knee pressing against Alex's under the scarred oak table. Not accidental, not anymore. 2 drinks in, the barriers crumbled. Jordan left because he couldn't handle the labels. Alex confessed, the words spilling like bourbon over ice. Said loving me meant rewriting his whole story, and he wasn't ready. 5 years, and I'm still picking up the pieces. Jamie's hand covered his on the table, warm and steady. That's his loss, Alex. Not your fault. Love isn't a script, it's improv. Messy, brilliant improv. Those eyes, gentle as a summer breeze off the Hudson, held him captive. For the first time since the breakup, Alex didn't feel like a footnote in someone else's narrative. They walked back to Alex's sublet in Chelsea under shared umbrellas, the rain a silver curtain muting the honks and sirens. At the door, brownstone stoop slick with puddles. Jamie paused, thumb tracing Alex's jaw in a touch that spoke volumes. This city's full of second chances. Don't let the first one steal them all. The kiss was inevitable, soft at first, then deepening like a promise sealed in storm-swept streets. Alex tasted whiskey and want, Jamie's arms a harbor against the gale. When they broke apart, breathless, Jamie whispered, "Dinner tomorrow? My place. No labels, no pressure. Just us." Alex nodded, heart hammering like a bass line in a hidden speakeasy. Hope this fragile, flickering thing he'd buried under cynicism, stirred awake. The weeks that followed were a montage of stolen moments, the kind Hollywood romanticizes but real life burnishes with grit. Jamie's apartment in the West Village was a third-floor walk-up crammed with vinyl records, dog-eared paperbacks by Baldwin and White, and a balcony overlooking a courtyard where feral cats yowled at midnight. Dinners became rituals. Alex chopping garlic while Jamie stirred risotto, their laughter echoing off exposed brick walls as they debated Scorsese versus Spielberg. Weekends blurred into brunches at the Spotted Pig. Avocado toast and bottomless mimosas, followed by aimless wanders through the High Line, hands intertwined like it was the most natural rebellion in the world. At work, the tension simmered beneath professional facades. A lingering glance across the conference table during Eleanor's morning stand-ups. Jamie's foot nudging Alex's under the table in team lunches. Eleanor noticed. Of course, her eagle eyes missed nothing. But she only smirked once, muttering, "Love makes the best campaigns," before diving into quarterly projections. Alex fell hard, faster than he'd admit even to his reflection in the subway's grimy windows. Jamie's gentleness disarmed him layer by layer. The way he'd text goodnight sonnets pilfered for me. Cummings, or show up with hot cider on chilly commutes, steam fogging the air between them. "You're my favorite plot twist," Jamie said one night, tangled in sheets that smelled of lavender and possibility, their bodies fitting like puzzle pieces long separated. But beneath the romance, shadows lurked. Jamie dodged questions about family, his past a sketch half erased. Philly was rough, Catholic guilt on steroids. He'd say with a wry smile, changing the subject to Alex's childhood hikes in the Cascades. Alex let it slide, chalking it up to old wounds, unwilling to shatter the idol with probes. October brought the first chill, and with it, the Verdant Threads pitch, a high-stakes presentation to the client's board in a Soho loft reeking of artisanal incense. Alex and Jamie co-led. Their synergy electric. Alex's data-driven hooks feeding Jamie's visual flair. Slides blooming with diverse models in fluid fabrics against urban backdrops. The room, filled with queer activists and venture capitalists in tailored blazers, erupted in applause as Eleanor sealed the deal. Celebration spilled into a rooftop bar atop the Standard Hotel. Skyline sprawling like a lover's limbs under twilight. Champagne flutes clinked. Confetti from a popper raining down as Jamie pulled Alex into a shadowed corner. "We make a hell of a team," he murmured, lips brushing Alex's ear, the city pulse thrumming below. In that haze of victory and view of Clickwhat, Alex almost missed the call. Jamie's phone buzzing insistently on the ledge, screen lighting up with "Dad." Jamie silenced it, but not before Alex glimpsed the voicemail icon blinking like a warning light. Later, as they tumbled into bed, limbs entangled and breath sinking, doubt crept in like fog off the East River. Who was this man? Really? The one who made every workday a quiet hope, but guarded his heart like Fort Knox? November arrived with Thanksgiving looming, a holiday Alex had always dodged. Too many family dinners laced with unspoken judgments back home. Jamie suggested they host a small gathering. Just them, Eleanor, who insisted on bringing her famous pecan pie, and a couple from Jamie's old running group. Low-key rebellion, he called it, stringing fairy lights across the balcony as Alex basted the turkey in the tiny kitchen. The evening unfolded like a warm blanket. Laughter over board games, Eleanor trouncing them at Scrabble with words like quixotic. Stories swapped like currency. Eleanor's rise from intern to partner, the runner's tales of marathons run for charity. Alex watched Jamie across the room, his eyes gentle as ever, carving slices with precision, plate balanced on his knee as he teased Eleanor about her corporate overlord vibes. This felt like home, the kind built not from blood but choice. But as plates cleared and wine glasses refilled, Jamie's phone lit up again. This time, he stepped onto the balcony, voice low and urgent. Alex caught fragments through the cracked door. "Not now, Dad. I said I'd handle it. Please, just." The door swung shut, muffling the rest. Eleanor raised an eyebrow over her Merlot. Family drama? Alex shrugged, feigning nonchalance. Holidays bring out the best and worst. She patted his hand, her rings cool against his skin. Cherish the best, kid. Life's too short for the rest. When Jamie returned, face pale under the stubble, he forced a smile. Everything's fine. Just dad being dad, worried about the bird flu or some conspiracy. But his eyes, those disarming pools, held a storm now, ripples of something unspoken. That night, as guests departed and the apartment fell quiet, Alex pulled him close on the couch, head on Jamie's chest listening to the steady thump of his heart. Talk to me, he whispered, fingers tracing the compass tattoo. Jamie sighed, a sound heavy as lead. It's nothing. Old stuff. Promise. Alex wanted to believe him, wanted to drown the unease in the rhythm of their bodies moving together, slow and reverent. But trust, once cracked, lets in the cold. The betrayal came on a Tuesday in early December, snow dusting the streets like powdered sugar on a bitter pill. Alex arrived at the office early, armed with bagels and a playlist of indie folk to soundtrack the morning grind. The floor was still half empty, printers humming softly, when he spotted Jamie's office door ajar. Unusual, since Jamie was a stickler for closed doors during flow time. Curiosity pulled him closer. Through the crack, he saw Jamie at his desk, not sketching concepts but hunched over a photo album. Yellowed pages splayed like an accusation. Laughter bubbled from his lips, soft and private, as he traced a finger over images. A younger Jamie in a high school gym, arms slung around a broad-shouldered boy with a Letterman jacket, both beaming under championship banners. Then, a wedding photo, Jamie, tuxedo sharp, standing beside a woman in white lace, her hand on his arm, his smile tight as a drum. Alex's stomach plummeted. He pushed the door open, bagels tumbling forgotten to the floor. Jamie, the album snapped shut, but not before Alex glimpsed the inscription inside. To my son, on your wedding day, proud of the man you've become. Love, Dad. 2012. Jamie's face drained of color, eyes wide, not gentle now, but fractured glass. Alex. It's not. Not what? The words clawed out, raw and ragged. You're married? To her? All this time. The kisses. The promises. Improv. You said. Messy. Brilliant improv. Was that the punchline? Jamie stood, hands raised like surrendering a weapon. I was married 8 years ago, right out of college. Catholic family, Philly expectations. Settle down, make it right. Her name was Sarah. We tried. God, we tried. But I couldn't. I loved her as a friend. Not like this. He gestured between them, desperate. Divorced 3 years now. It ended amicably, but my family's still in denial. Dad sends those albums like reminders, like I can just go back. Alex laughed, a hollow bark that echoed off the walls. And you didn't think to mention it? 5 years in the city rebuilding yourself, you said. Second chances. But you kept this bomb ticking in your drawer. The office door swung open then. Eleanor, coffee in hand, sensing the thunder. Meeting in 10. Whatever this is, save it for after. She glanced between them, sharp as a stiletto. Or don't. But the client's waiting. Jamie reached for Alex's arm, but he jerked away, the touch now poison. Please, let me explain. Dinner tonight. No. The word was a guillotine. Alex stormed out, past cubicles filling with early birds, the elevator ride down a descent into hell. Outside, Snowflakes melted on his cheeks. Tears or sleet, he couldn't tell. Betrayal tasted like the rain in Seattle, cold and unrelenting. He called out sick for the rest of the week, holing up in his sublet with takeout Thai and Netflix marathons that blurred into numbness. Texts from Jamie piled up. I'm sorry. It was fear, not deceit. Call me. Voicemails. Voice cracking like thin ice. I love you, Alex. This isn't over unless you say it is. Love. The word mocked him. He'd let himself hope again. Let those gentle eyes rewrite his story, only to find chapters hidden in plain sight. By Friday, the silence was a weight he couldn't bear. He met Jamie at the Dead Rabbit, the same scarred table now a battlefield. Jamie looked wrecked, dark circles under those eyes, shirt untucked like he'd slept in it. I should have told you from the start, he began, voice gravel. But every time I tried, the words stuck. My family's the ghost I can't shake. Dad's calls, Mom's prayers. They think I'm fixed, post-divorce. Straight as an arrow. Telling you felt like admitting it to them all over again. Alex stared into his whiskey, the amber swirling like chaos. I get fear, Jamie. Lived it. But secrets? That's not fear, that's control. You disarmed me, made me believe in us, and now I'm the fool holding the pieces. Jamie's hand trembled across the table, not touching, just hovering. You're not a fool. You're the best thing that's happened to me since I left that life. Give me a chance to prove it. No more hiding. The plea hung, fragile as snow on lashes. Alex wanted to bolt, to board another red-eye back to the coast where hearts break cleaner under evergreens. But those eyes, gentle still, pleading, tugged at the threads of hope he'd almost severed. Prove it, he said finally, voice steady as the bar's low hum. Tell your dad. Tonight. On speaker. Or we're done. Jamie swallowed, nodding. The call connected in the dim booth, static crackling like nerves. Dad? It's Jamie. Got someone here. Important. Need to talk. The voice on the line was gruff, laced with static from Philly miles away. Jamie? Everything all right? Son? Deep breath. No, Dad. Not really. Remember Sarah? The divorce? It wasn't about her. Or us. It was about me, who I am. I'm gay. Have been since. Forever. And the guy next to me? Alex. I love him. Like I should have loved someone years ago. Silence stretched, eternal as a held breath. Then, a sigh tired, human. Jesus, kid. Took you long enough. A pause. Papers rustling. Your ma and I, we suspected. After the wedding, the way you looked at her. Like a brother, not a husband. We've been waiting for this call. Proud of you, Jamie. Tell Alex hi, from the folks who should have said it sooner. The line clicked dead, but the air hummed with release. Jamie's eyes met Alex's, tears carving tracks down his cheeks. Not broken, but free. Your turn, he whispered. Alex laughed. Real this time, pulling him across the table into a kiss that tasted of whiskey and winter and wings taking flight. Deal. But next time, no plot twists without spoilers. Outside, snow fell thicker, blanketing the streets in hush. They walked hand in hand toward the bridge, the city a canvas of lights and longing. Hope wasn't a fragile thing anymore. It was the thread binding them, strong as steel cables spanning rivers. Spring came slow to Manhattan, cherry blossoms tardy but defiant along the FDR Drive. Alex and Jamie's rhythms settled into something deeper. Mornings tangled in Jamie's balcony chaise, coffee steaming as they planned pitches over the Sunday Times. Work thrived, verdant threads expanded, their campaign earning a Clio nod. Eleanor toasting them at the office holiday party with a wink. Knew you'd spark something, but growth brought its own tempests. Jamie's family visited in April. His dad, a burly ex-cop with a grip like a vice, and Mom, soft-spoken with eyes mirroring her son's. Dinner at their apartment was a minefield of small talk. Dad's stories of Eagles games, Mom's recipe for hoagies swapped for Alex's salmon bake. Under the table, Jamie's hand anchored Alex's, a silent "we're okay." Yet doubt lingered in quiet moments. One night, as they lay staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, Jamie confessed the fear that still nipped at his heels. What if it's not enough? The labels, the past, people at work whisper. Clients side-eye. Am I dragging you into my mess? Alex turned, cupping his face. Mess? This is life. Jamie. Ours. And it's beautiful because it's real. He kissed the worry lines on Jamie's forehead, tracing them away. Remember improv? We ad-libbed the rest. Summer scorched the city, air conditioners groaning like overworked interns. They escaped to Fire Island for a long weekend, rented a cottage steps from the beach, where waves crashed like applause for their bare feet in the surf. There, under stars sharp as diamonds, Jamie proposed not with a ring, but a vow. Marry me? Not for show. Not for anyone but us. Equal partners in this wild script. Alex's yes was a whisper swallowed by the tide, their embrace a seal against the horizon. Back in the city, the climax brewed not in romance, but reality. Whitaker and Klein landed a whale, a national chain for inclusive menswear, demanding a Super Bowl spot. Deadlines crushed, tempers flared, Eleanor barking orders, the team fraying at seams. Alex and Jamie burned midnight oil, concepts flying like shrapnel, men in motion, taglines celebrating fluidity over rigidity. Then, the leak. A rival firm poached their drafts. Internal sabotage, whispers said. Fingers pointed. The new intern, jittery and overeager. But evidence mounted against Jamie. His login time-stamped on the compromised file, an email trail to an anonymous drop. Accusation hit like a freight train in Eleanor's office, fluorescent glare unforgiving. Jamie, explain, she demanded, printouts splayed like evidence in a trial. He blanched, eyes darting to Alex, betrayal's cruel mirror. I didn't swear it. Someone framed me. Check the logs. But the logs lied, doctored clean. HR swooped in. Suspension pending investigation. Alex stood frozen. The man he'd vowed to trust now a suspect in ruins. That night, alone in the sublet, Jamie barred from contact. Alex paced. Phone clutched like a grenade. Betrayal's echo. Not just the leak, but the fracture. Had Jamie's past made him desperate? A payout to silence family debts? Confrontation came at dawn in Central Park. Benches slick with dew. Jamie arrived disheveled, coat flapping like broken wings. It's not me, Alex. You have to believe. Why? The word cracked. Trust is our foundation, and it's crumbling. Again. Jamie knelt, not in plea but proof, pulling a USB from his pocket. Hacked the server last night. Risked everything. Here's the real trail, the intern. In bed with the rival for a green card favor. Forward it to Eleanor. But if I'm wrong, fire me. Walk away. Alex took it, fingers numb, uploading in a coffee shop haze. By noon, exoneration. The intern confessed, tears and all. Jamie reinstated, but the damage lingered, a scar on their seamless sink. Reconciliation brewed slow, over walks in Prospect Park where dog walkers nodded like old friends. I almost lost you, Jamie admitted, voice thick. My fear, it's a thief. But you're my redemption. Alex squeezed his hand. Then let's steal it back. Together. Fall circled again. Leaves a riot of gold. Their wedding was small rooftop in the village. Eleanor officiating with quips drier than martinis. Vows exchanged under harvest moon. In your gentle eyes, I found my hope. In your heart, my home. Years wove on, threads of conflict and calm. A son adopted from foster care, his laughter filling the brownstone they'd bought upstate. Jamie's novel published, memoir of closets and compasses, topping queer lit charts. Alex climbed to VP, pitching campaigns that changed boardrooms. Betrayals came, family rifts, career stumbles, but each mended stronger, humanistic in its honesty, love as verb, not fairy tale. On workdays, still, Jamie's eyes across the table disarmed, turning routine into renewal. In the end, hope wasn't the absence of storm, but dancing in the rain, two men, arms linked, skyline eternal.